Hey, Keith here. It's the 26th of January 2014. It's a beautiful day in southern Indiana. It's about 52 degrees. Wind's blowing pretty hard though. And let me tell you, it's a huge contrast from where I was a week ago. Finland, Minnesota, 2014. Minnesota frozen butt hang. But hey, that's a whole different story. You'll just have to check out the video. Today we're just going to walk through the woods, do a little day hike here in southern Indiana, see what we can see. So come along. Vantage point here. I'm standing on top of what's called a high wall. This is where they stopped digging, and on the other side, that's the spoil side. That's where they would spin the shovel around and dump the dirt. And this was to dig down to where the seam of coal was, which is actually underneath the water. The frozen water right now. As you can see, they reclaimed most of that land over there, and they left this side untouched, and this is what the woods was like prior to the mining. I grew up in this type of terrain, and I think it's beautiful. It's got a beauty all to itself. I doubt if you can see it, but I'm following along a game trail here. And by game, I mean deer. You know, it's any of the animals. They all use them. Just like us, they prefer the path of least resistance. Burns less energy. And if you look close, you can see where the path is worn, where they've crossed across that little ditch. It's hard to follow these in the winter. You see some leaves kicked up every once in a while. Evidence of where they've crossed a creek or something, but I don't know. It's a good way to get through the woods. Okay, lesson learned. Don't put your camera in an open pocket. I just spent between an hour and an hour and a half finding the camera. Let me show you what kind of terrain it was in, okay? Check this out. It was actually right down there under those leaves right there. And I walked from there down through this game trail and all the way to the top of that ridge. I guess I must have walked it 30 times maybe before I finally found it. So, lesson learned. Well, the reason I walked up on the ridge was so I could give you guys a view of this area here. They mined all that area out there, strip mined it, and they stopped here on this high area because the seam of coal got so deep that it wasn't cost efficient for them to mine it at the time. It was partially reclaimed because that was so long ago that they really didn't do a lot of reclamation. It's a lot different today. But what it did provide was a great habitat for wildlife. You've got the what we call strip pits. Let me see if I can zoom in on that one. And you've got lots of open land. It's just a haven for deer, turkey, rabbits, coyotes. We've got bobcat. It's just amazing how diverse the animal population was. Now they're starting to come back and remine some of the old area. If you look way over there in the distance, that used to be a thick wooded area of what we call spoils and pine trees, and it was mined in the 20s and 30s all the way up until the 60s, and then it sat dormant with nobody on it for 40 years, and now they've come back with the modern equipment and are starting to remine, go down and get the deeper seam of coal. So we've lost a lot of great animal habitat, but when they get done with it, it will be reclaimed and it'll be good farmland in about 10 to 20 years. So, it is what it is. Got down in this thorn thicket along a creek. It's down out of the wind and it's pretty peaceful. Today I wanted to try the alcohol stove that I made. It's made out of 2 caffeine-free diet soda cans. I put a ½ ounce of denatured alcohol in there. Alright, denatured alcohol burns so clean you can't even see a flame. It should take about 2 to 3 minutes to boil. That's been about a minute, long enough for me to put some sweetener in my cup. You can see it's already starting to get really hot. You see this pot has the heat exchange on it, which says it reduces boil time by 20%, which then reduces fuel consumption by 20%. Well, there you have it. About 2 minutes and we've got rapid boil with a ½ ounce of denatured alcohol. Not bad. This is really an extremely light system and it all packs right down into itself. There's my spare bottle of alcohol. There's the 1 ounce. Stick the stove down in there. This whole thing weighs about, good Lord. Even with the alcohol, it's probably less than a pound. Just the heat exchange on the bottom. Nice setup. Not a bad way to spend a Sunday afternoon.